Okay, so here we go. I have a story for you. It's I've been thinking about how to start this and how to keep it going and what's going to happen, and it's been a lot. Sorry, let's just start it all off. My wife calls me her bear, and I'm gonna be here telling this story, trying to earn that nickname. So this is becoming the bear. This past Thanksgiving in 2025, I was having dinner with my wife's family, and I had an extreme spike in my blood pressure, which caused me to have what felt like a heart attack, or gave me symptoms of a heart attack, and extremely scared everybody, including me, and I ended up in the ER after a very intense session in the backyard of my sister-in-law's house, in which I was trying to make a turkey that wasn't working out very well, and we were having issues, and yeah, anyway, that part's irrelevant. When I got into the ambulance, my blood pressure came down, symptoms started to fade. We ended up at the hospital though, and they wanted to run every test necessary to see what was going on, and they did, and they scanned every part of my chest, and they did all the other tests that they needed to do to see if it was an actual heart attack, and it was not, thankfully. However, had that not happened, they would not have found the softball-sized tumor sitting above my kidney. I have a 1 in a million type of cancer called Adrenal Cortical something. ACC for short, carcinoma. There you go. Here's the thing, I'm not editing any of these videos. Everything you're gonna get is gonna be raw. It's gonna be me, and it's gonna be all of that. So I hope you're ready to strap in for this journey. I'm gonna tell you how it began, and then I will keep you updated on how things are going. And I'll probably tell you quite a bit about my life beforehand and how my life is going now. This is gonna be for my family. I don't know how much time I have left. Nobody does, right? But this is gonna be for the fight, for the struggle, for the peace of mind, and so that everybody can remember me, especially my wife. I love you more than anything. And this was a hell of a struggle to get here, and I'm not giving up now. So, with this cancer, it's different. It doesn't slow me down, it speeds me up. I'm always up. It's adrenaline boosting, it's everything, and since Thanksgiving I have received zero treatment. It is now January 8th, 2026. The people in most of the doctors and specialists here in Spokane didn't know how to handle this. They didn't know how to address it. They didn't know how to diagnose it. For years, my wife has been asking my doctor, is some of his symptoms related around cancer? Could it be cancer? And no, it's just fat. I wasn't sleeping well, all of that. But ever since it's come on, there was a huge change in who I was and how I acted towards things. It shoots adrenaline and cortisol into me at ridiculous levels. Your cortisol is supposed to be on the chart that they gave me. It was like 3 to 64 is normal range. Mine rates at 1564. Think about that. I don't sleep. And when I do, it's not the best. It takes me forever to go to sleep, and then by the time I'm in a deep sleep, the really nice softball tumor that is hanging out inside of me makes sure that it knows I'm still there, or I know it's still there, by letting me know that I have to pee. Because that happens all the time. All the time. I'm just stuck. I can't do anything or go anywhere, and I've found that it's really embarrassing and very humbling in the culture we live in now, that most grocery stores you go to, you have to track somebody down and beg them to let you to use the restroom, or get a code from them to go in there. And I understand that there are people who abuse this in our society for whatever they're doing, but man, when you're trying really hard not to just go in your pants and have to track somebody down and be like, hey, can you please let me in to go like, what am I, a child? I have to beg you to let me go take a whiz? Dude, weird. I hate it. I'm gonna digress a lot. It's a long story. There's gonna be a lot of videos on, but when all of that happened, our lives changed. Everybody in my family, our lives changed. A lot of it was for the better, if I'm being honest with you. My heart doesn't hurt as much as it did back then. My life isn't as bad as it was. I'm eating a lot better. Literally the next day, well, let's go back to the hospital. Let me go back and tell that story. I will tell that entire story. Let's go there. Once we found out that I didn't have a heart attack and I wasn't dying, and they're getting ready to discharge me. They're like, nah, you could probably go. My wife left the hospital to go grab some things and be ready and to come get me. And the ER doctor comes back in to the room like 5 minutes later. He said, oh, your family left. That's kind of a good thing. Let me tell you about this tumor we found. So I had no idea. None. It was just, yeah, you didn't have a heart attack. We're going to let you go. Cool. I was coming home the next day. We weren't going to keep staying in Vegas. He goes, you might want to consider staying overnight so we can run tests and probably do a biopsy and get after it. Sorry, that doctor didn't say that. It was the doctor later that said we should do the biopsy, but he said that we should stay overnight and look at this. But he was changing shifts, and that was literally kind of the extent of it. That was, hey, by the way, you have a tumor inside of you that is spread to your lungs, And that was it. That's how I was told. They didn't care about me. It's just statistics. Like, here you go. Just FYI. Knock yourself out. Bye. I'm off my shift. It's Thanksgiving. So I called my wife right away and let her know. Hey, here we go. I know you wouldn't want to wait to hear this news. So I'm going to tell you right now. And I told her what he told me. She said she's going to bring some stuff. We're going to spend the night. And we're staying there. We're going to stay in Vegas, and we'll let them run their tests and figure out what's what. So the next doctor came in after they got me a room. And we were talking, and he tells us that we should stay until the morning. They'll run a stress test on my heart just to make sure that I'm okay with that part. But that was the last time he ever mentioned my heart. He didn't care about that anymore. And then it moved into the tumor, and he's like, we'll perform a biopsy. We'll have you here for 4 or 5 days. Man, I can't stay in Vegas another 4 or 5 days. That's gonna break us. Can't do it. What happens if we go home? He said, none. You should probably get it looked at when you get home. And you should do it right away. But he said, this is no big deal. Because it's been there a while. It's aggressive. But it's been there a while. Everybody else's tests, and there's a lot of symptoms that led up to this that people could have noticed, like looking at my face. This is called Cushing's. My face is swollen like this all the time, and everybody just attributed it to me being fat. There's gonna be times that I'm gonna have different emotions, like my emotional roller coaster is crazy. So I hope you're strapped in for this, because there's gonna be times I'm gonna be mad, I'm gonna be sad, I'm gonna be on one. One thing I'm gonna try to do is cuss less, because I cuss a lot. But I want my kids to be able to see this. So there's that. So we talked it over and we decided to come home. Because if something's gonna happen to me, Vegas was never my home. It was hers, not mine. This is the closest place I've had to home, and I've wrecked it. That's another story, but now it's time to put down better roots, better foundation. It might not always be our home, but for now it is. It's where we met. It's where we fell in love. It's our home. And if I was gonna die anywhere, it was gonna be here. So as we started our way home, you gotta understand, I was a raging drinker, man. I started off loving beer. I owned my own beer bar. I did a lot with beer. Craft beer was my jam. Man, once I discovered how to make cocktails really well, better than any bar I've been to, man, because I can cater them to my taste. I don't have to rely on somebody else to try and make it, but I love taking other people's recipes and making them my own. That was my jam. And I made it for my wife, and I knew her palate as well. And that was my whole thing, and I spent so much money on liquor and bartending stuff. That became one of the first things we talked about. Because if you know my wife or you know anything about her, once a little bit of information gets into her, she don't stop. She's relentless. I may be becoming a bear, but that girl's a Wolverine. She will stop at nothing to get what she wants. And what she thirsts for more than anything is knowledge. She's the smartest person I've ever met. It's one of the biggest things that made me fall in love with her. That was also kind of my biggest downfall too. But again, that's another story. I hope you're here for a lot of them, because I'm going to chronicle it all. So, it's starting to get a little long in the tooth. I'm going to start wrapping it up. But on the way home, she said, one of the things we can do to fight this is change the way we eat. We got to slow down on drinking. That was what I heard first. Slow down on drinking. It's like, all right, I can do that. I can slow down on drinking. We'll go down to 1 or 2 a day. No, that's not good enough. Maybe 1 or 2 a week. All right. So we stopped halfway home, stayed in Boise. Poured myself a double of this whiskey we had bought at Costco. Had the Golden Knights on it. Man, whiskey was my jam. And I wanted to try it. That was the last drink I've had since the day after Thanksgiving. Because next morning she asked me to stop drinking. I don't deny that woman anything. She's my everything. And I haven't touched alcohol since. But I also cut out dairy, cut out any carbs, lost 60 plus pounds, which they want to attribute to the cancer or Zepbound, but cancer's been there for years and I've been gaining nothing but weight. Zepbound's been working a little. Contribute that a few pounds. Everything else has been my wife. She changed up my diet. I only eat things or drink things that will help boost my stem cells, that are willing to fight, that I can put into my gut microbiome, that we've learned a lot about. We've learned a lot about acromantia. Everything that I can do to eat and fight cancer, and that's the only way I've been able to keep fighting it now. This upcoming week I get to start treatment at the Fred Hutch Cancer Center in Seattle. I'm so grateful. You have no idea. I'm so grateful that the doctors in Spokane are so uncaring and who are so scared and had no idea what they were playing with. They wanted to cut me open and that would have killed me. It would have made my cancer spread because of the kind of cancer I have, and none of them had any idea. I have a great endocrinologist. He's the one who could figure this all out. Luckily. But if the other ones hadn't been what they'd been, we wouldn't have found the one in Seattle. We wouldn't have found the Fred Hutch Center. Those people inspire hope. This is my story. I'm going to tell it to you day by day. So I hope you're ready. I hope you strap in. Everything's gonna be raw. I'm doing this for my family and for myself. This is how I'm gonna become the bear. See you tomorrow.